monthly and weekly slots available in Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That's Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on the computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. A Lone Star Community Radio. Broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on the irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, and that evil laugh is coming from my guest. Oh, yeah. Dennis O'Connor's here in the house. But first, I got to talk about it. The Astros Friday night. What happened? Friday night, it starts the World Series. And so that's going to be so exciting. So we have to keep, reminding everybody. I don't know. The stores have been so full.
Is the friendly place, right?
Phillies, yeah. Did you see him? Did you see him play the other guys? No, they forget about that brotherly love stuff. It's only for each other on the team. But the Astros are so hot right now. It's so
we're gonna
great.
kill them. The poor kids. I wouldn't want to be a Phillies fan or a Phillies player for anything under the sun.
No.
When you got to face our Astros.
Verlander and all those Altuve at the very end.
I didn't wear my Altuve shirt. I almost wore it.
Well, you got your cap on. That's okay.
Yeah, I got the cap. Yeah.
But
and they told me that this was a girl's cap because it's
Why?
white. And I said, hey, man, I'm an Astros fan in Texas.
Yeah.
It's the Texas sun. I'm not going to wear a black hat.
No,
what are you,
not at all.
crazy? That'll fry my brain.
But
everybody knows
that's been done.
Cooked.
But if it has been so exciting to see all these people with Astro shirts on that usually dress very prim and proper, and they got these big old, loose orange shirts on. Everybody looks like they play for the Astros.
I'm wearing orange underwear, by the way.
Let me write that down. Okay. So anyway, so Dennis is my guest, and we're going to talk to him. He's going to talk anyway. It doesn't matter. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you being here. And you have been with this show since infinity. You've always been with this show.
No, you mean the Lone Star Community Radio?
Yes, you've been with those guys.
Well,
everybody.
Yeah, I've been hanging out here a long time.
Well, Dennis,
and I think I first came on because when I was building sets, you were like right next door to me.
That's right.
I was building them at the Crichton Theater, and so I was listening to you because they had outside speakers on the street.
Right, on the street. We were on the street.
We need that. We need that. We need that out on the street again.
Oh, yeah, that would confuse everybody as they walk by. And I told, you heard me yesterday, tell everybody what you would do while I was on the air.
I would walk by your big picture windows and
carry a sign. Say, this is boring. get off the housewives thing. Get on to something more interesting.
The world's about to end.
Yeah.
The end is near.
The
I
end is
remember
near.
the end is near.
And you're hoping it is because you can stand listening to that show whenever I talked about the housewives. But I think that you're so well known downtown. At that,
Not anymore?
At that time.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're acting in the
Yes.
Owen, in
Yeah,
the Crichton. You're
Before I retired.
yes, you were everywhere, and so everybody knew you, and you could go into any store, and they were like, "Oh, Dennis, you gonna pay today?" No, they would. They just loved you, and everybody down there knows you. So I thought you got to come back over here because I've had. I had Jared Starrett on, and I had Cody Spencer's going to be on. You know, Cody with the All-Star.
I wanted to mention that I am such a big fan of your new show.
Well, thank you.
Because you have had some really cool guests, as you've already mentioned, but you know, the local people. That's what I
Right.
look at, like Craig Campabella. You had on.
Yes, Craig.
And you had. Boy, my memory is bad.
I know what you're talking about.
You've had so many wonderful Conroe people who support love and peace and joy.
That's right, and that love this
and
place.
The art,
Denton, Florida. You're talking about.
you had
Yes.
Denton on.
You know, is Wally Westbrook, Dr. Wally Westbrook? Is he still? He's still.
I don't know. Well, you're asking me, is this
I
man
want him
alive?
on. I love that guy. I just love.
I
that
don't
guy.
know.
Well,
You're asking me to contact the dead? Oh, what a thing.
what a That's
Have
so
we
great.
transitioned?
Yes,
Have we
right
gotten
into
there
it.
yet? Yes.
No, I'm saving
No,
that.
I do
I'm
not
saving
know
that.
if he's alive or not.
He
I
was-
know Sam Houston is dead.
He is at least. We know that for sure.
Yeah, I've seen his big statue up
But
there.
you had the Crichton guy. You brought him back from the dead, and played him in the documentary talking about
Harry
how
Crichton.
Yeah.
I studied his life as much as I could, and I can't tell you the link to that movie that
You and Dare
Stephen Wong did.
Oh, yeah, right.
And it was Dare, your guest yesterday, if people can remember back that long.
I know.
Dare McLeod. Yeah, she and I were the only two characters in the whole movie, and I played Harry Crichton. To the best that I could cut my hair and shave everything off, because Harry was not a hairy guy.
No.
But anyway, yes, we Dare and I did that movie together.
That's so cool.
It was called Harry's Dream, and it's out there somewhere.
Well,
So if somebody can find it, let
that
me know.
theater, if you have not ever been to the Crichton Theater, you need to go because it's such a step back in time.
Gorgeous.
And it's so
Yes.
beautiful and so ornate because that's how they used to make theaters, like the Waste Side. Well, you probably don't remember Waste Side and all these are Houston theaters that were out there. My grandfather managed the first Majestic Metropolitan Lowe's.
Majestic Theater.
Yeah,
that was-
downtown. Smack downtown.
That's the
But-
name came up with Harry Crichton. He was looking for Majestic Theater atmosphere
That was,
when he had it designed.
and they had the Ten Commandments premiere there, and then they did so much ornate stuff and murals and stuff on the wall. It was amazing. Now I wasn't there for the. I was really young, but I did, because my grandparents were in that realm, and they both managed theaters at that time, and so we would go to the theater we go to the show for free. And Saturday mornings they'd have the Saturday morning shows.
Oh yeah.
And so those days are way gone. They're gone, and
man.
because those were beautiful theaters. And then they came out
And
with
the Crichton was supposed to be vaudeville. It's built that way. You look at
Right,
it,
sure.
you walk a couple blocks down here. It's got a 40-foot high roof.
Yes, and
all
the
of a sudden everything's
staging.
flat. And it's like boom, and that's for all the flies to go up into because those are all 13 flies, curtains that could come down, or scenery. You know?
I thought it drew the flies up there. I mean, I was going FLIS.
Beep, beep. No, a fly is what they call. You see the guys with the ropes,
Right.
There's a whole line of ropes, and there's like 15 of them, and you yank them, and it goes up or down.
And you were the one that was helping with the creating the rain for one of the plays they had.
Singing in the rain.
Yeah, it would rain.
Yeah, I made it
into-
rain on stage.
Yes, you made it rain on stage.
Yeah, I made it rain on stage.
I know that probably went
I
right
was
to your
I
head.
was watching that this morning.
You were? Really?
Oh yeah, it was quite a. There's a whole YouTube thing about it. It's called One on One at the Crichton. One on One. If you Google One on One.
At the Crichton? Well, you probably get a lot of stuff from the Crichton.
Well, there's most of that is just interviews, like you're doing with me. Although Steve Wong was much better than you are at interviewing people. But anyway, what were we talking about? Raining on stage.
Raining
Yes,
on
I
stage.
did. I
Yeah, you
did.
brought the
can-
rain
yeah,
to the
just-
stage.
yeah.
That was an amazing feat. And so you
Yes, it
you
was.
worked with a lot of the set design and that with Deanie and all those people, right? Didn't you do a lot of
Denise. Yeah, you got to
Deanie
say
boy?
Denise and Deanie
and
Dennis.
Denise, right? The 3 Ds. But you guys did wonderful work there.
Oh yeah,
But-
we did. We worked for about I think. Well, I think I worked all the sets for 5 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
when we were doing the show. We did Way More FM, and then whenever Richard and them took over,
Yeah.
we were doing shows there with Mark and I, and then it was by myself. I stayed. I put them all down, and I was the one who was victorious. No, but it was so much fun, and there was such a great camaraderie in that, and I'm sure there still is inside that Main Street.
The whole artistic community really grew. Basically from the Crichton Theater.
Right.
I have a picture of me standing out at the back door on Simonton, and there was nothing there going on at all
Yeah.
on any of the streets.
That's
the only
right.
thing that was going on was the Tally's Domino Parlor.
Right.
Next to our back door of the Crichton was the Tally's Domino Parlor.
Right.
And man, I didn't even go in there for a drink.
Well, I am so proud of you. That's good. Good for you. Now, I don't
I'm
want to
talking
get...
about looking at rattlesnakes going, I've been in some really seedy places, but man, that place was seedy. In all the places in downtown Conroe now, they chip out the plaster that's covering all the brick, and it's really cool.
Yes.
Well, Tally's Domino Bar.
You know the brick. That's
Looked like that, and they didn't.
inside.
It just had fallen down.
It was so trendy. They didn't know it. It was so trendy the way they had it.
Yeah.
But I think that you could look around. There's great restaurants and great
Oh, it's just
places
another
for
world.
people to go.
Another planet.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I ate 6 shrimp at Moco today.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
at
good
Moco,
because they
just
had-
up the street.
they came
this
on-
new, wild, wacky, zany place, and you can. There's
6
so
different
many,
restaurants.
Yeah, and then there's a bar at one corner, and there's a speakeasy which I have not found yet.
in the vault. It's in the vault.
Have you seen it?
No, but I went over there and he showed it, pointed. He said, "Up there is the vault."
You want to go there after the show? What do you think?
No, I have to pick children up from school. My world goes right back to reality as soon as I walk out that door. Right now, we're going to talk about, I'm sure it's reality to you, but it's very strange to us what you've been writing about.
Natural and supernatural is what you're referring
Natural and supernatural.
to, as opposed to reality and unreality.
Well, but I mean, it's surreal.
Oh, it's very surreal.
So I'm not
well,
going to say that.
how am I going to lead into this?
Well, let me tell them how I found this out.
Tell
He
them what
started-
you know, and I'll tell them what the hell is real.
really happened. But
Hell is the first cuss word I've used so far.
that's all. See, we've got $100.
$100
Yeah,
cuss
every
jar.
time he says a bad word, he's got to put $100 in the. Look, Richard looked over here real quick. He went, "Really? Okay."
Is that on camera?
He
Where
made
is it?
$300 before the thing started.
It's a
Even,
$100 cuss jar.
but yes, because
I have no idea where the camera
yeah,
is.
Dennis has a little bit of a salty language problem, but he's decided just to tamp that down for this.
Because I love Cindy.
Yes, that's why he's doing this, and it's hard to keep his mouth shut about certain things. But your wife, Georgia, is ex-wife, Georgia,
Ex-wife, Georgia.
was someone who you claim to be a medium. And when you told me that, she said, my wife was a medium, and I'm going, so I was an extra large. What difference does that make? I don't understand that this is.
I've never heard that joke before. But
I wasn't joking. I thought, like, what? Why are you throwing that at me? So, but I think that what you wrote on your Facebook, it seemed like you, and you said, I just sat down and I just started writing things because I'm watching these shows that talk about, having seances and,
Well,
and all this
it's
talking to the
getting close
dead.
to Halloween, so all
Right.
these shows are just
Right.
heavy into all the ghost thing.
Right.
Yes, and I interrupted you. Please go ahead.
So you started talking about how she talked to dead people, and that she'd be talking to someone. You'd walk in, you didn't see anyone, but she's talking to someone, and you felt sure someone was there, and she saw someone, but you did not see them. Is that correct? You didn't
I
see
didn't
them.
see nothing.
But
I
those
don't
you
see
talked
the
to.
people standing behind you right at this very exact moment
Mm-hmm.
who you know and love, who have died, and who you support you. And they're standing. Are you picking that up? What if I go like that around their head? Okay, because they're right there. They're standing, and so's Dick's folks are standing over there. Mine are right here. My mom and dad.
I wouldn't be real sure
and
about Richard.
Adam.
I wouldn't be real sure about Richard's. I think they're like, we're waiting to see how he turns out. No, he is.
Evil. He's the devil's spawn.
Are you making that camera real close to my
devil's
face?
spawn.
Don't do it. No, he took it off my face. No, but I think it's very
Where were we?
interesting. It's very interesting that she was talking to people like that.
Yeah, she
and-
could see them. You
Okay.
know, like I'm telling you they're there, but I can't see them. I know they're there simply because of what I have experienced.
Well, now see, I think I could almost accept that there are, layers of life that may be all around us. That's like we're in one sphere, and then there's others that are there.
This is Cindy's explanation of reality.
See, you
Total
don't-
reality.
I
Okay,
think-
go ahead.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
there-
Go ahead. Your layers. You got your layers.
I
Yeah.
think that's time is just a really interesting thing. What time is? And
Oh, I
we
got
made up
time and space is one of my main things.
Right,
I
and
wrote
what
down.
time is that we made up and we created a lot of the time, except God created the 24 hours and the day and the night and all that. And in between that, what we did to keep up with our schedules, we've got the sundial. We have our things. Everything's right here where what we're gonna
There are
be.
sundials?
And so,
What?
and so I think as long as how
Where
far
the
we've
heck are you
come,
going? Okay.
like what are they gonna discover? What will they discover
Who's
in
they?
the future?
Who are they going to discover what? Who's
The
they?
scientists who figure out because when they go into space and they're like amazed at what's in space and the stars and how it just goes and
Well,
goes and
absolutely.
goes on.
You talk about time and space, right?
Right.
Okay, so you go out tonight and you look up in the sky and you realize that you're looking deep into the past. You are some of those stars haven't existed for millions of years.
True.
You're just
It does.
seeing the light that it takes ever so long to reach us. That light, that energy, it takes ever so long to reach us. So you're looking into the past. You are really actually, you don't have to ask anybody to go and pay somebody $300 an hour
Well-
like my ex-wife charged. But
Is that what she charged?
you-
It's $300 an hour.
when we separated, yes, that's what she was charging.
And so the people would sit
$300
there,
an hour in person.
the people would sit there and they gave her some items and things.
No.
No?
She didn't have any of that little. Where do we go as far as CRAP? Is that a bad word to say?
CRAP.
Because that just is so.
Let me give you a sign for that, and then that way I don't have to hear you say it. You can sign it. No, I'm afraid to even show you the sign of
She
it.
didn't do a whole lot of that silliness.
She didn't need it.
Hey, I said silliness
Very good.
instead
That's
of crap. Because that's what I was aiming for.
Okay, well,
but
that's better
anyway,
than
she
what I
didn't
thought you
use
would say.
anything. No tarot cards. No. She didn't ask
Crystal
you for
ball.
a photograph. She didn't ask you for nothing. Because when you walked into the room, like I am sitting here with you, those people are walking in with her. They're walking in with her, and she can see the darn people.
Very good.
I know, it sounds
Very good.
crazy.
I'm so-
It sounds extremely unbelievable, but how could, and then she's saying, okay, well, instead of, I feel an energy, I feel a presence. No, she's looking at some old lady
But
sitting
when
there
she said,
dressed up as
didn't you
the
have,
old lady wanted
did
to
you
be.
have an Aunt Mary? And they go, yes, I did. Well, Aunt Mary is saying
No. She never asked about, do you have one? She's saying, your Aunt Mary.
And then they
She was that direct. She was that, because that's what freaked the heck out of me. I said, heck. How could you imagine that? How could you conceive of that? That she's seeing this lady. It should tell you what she's wearing, and she's wearing whatever Aunt Mary wants to be seen in. And Aunt Mary has control over what she wants to be seen in, at what age.
and what
And
was
at
the
what
age?
age?
Tell me were they younger than when they died, or did they ever?
Some were. Is
that what you
No,
said?
some very, very few. I'm thinking. I'm trying to think. Yes, younger than when they died. Yes, most of them were in their. A lot of them were in their prime, but what that. This took a lot of many years of research for me to realize that this was what was happening. Plus, Georgia would explain it to me because I questioned it just like you are.
Right.
But I'm asking the source. I'm asking her, now, how'd you know she was wearing that green dress? But they wear whatever, and they appear whatever that person who was sitting across the chair paying $300.
Oh,
Thank
my
you for.
word.
I had so many adjectives.
I am sure.
But whoever was paying that, whatever they would recognize, because Georgia would say blah 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 blah, and they would say yes, or nothing at all. She wasn't asking them for anything. She didn't need anything, because what she was there for is to talk to the dead person. I keep
that was her
pointing over there,
specialty.
but-
Yeah,
that was it, and she would just, and even if the dead person said something that the person living didn't agree with or wasn't,
Did they ever say no? They never said that, or no, they wouldn't say that.
I was trying to make notes of, because I spent years in the most amazing place to be able to hear this between dead people and the living person. And, why did you not, the living person says, well, why did you knock the door off my bedroom? Apparently, the door had just been ripped off her bedroom, and that's why she says, hey, this sounds like ghosty stuff. And the dead person says, well, stop doing cocaine.
And no one knew they were doing cocaine. No one knew that. She didn't know that.
No, that was, we don't know that.
So there's no research.
Georgia had no idea
Georgia
who
didn't
that
do any
person was.
research.
And the dead person said, "Stop doing cocaine." And this lady just freaked because no one knew.
Well, did Georgia do research once she signed a client to come in, assigned them to come in? When they were going to come in, she was going to interview them or talk to them, or talk to their relatives. Was there was no research done at all?
She couldn't have done any. I did all the research. Georgia would wake up, and I think one of the articles I wrote talked about that. I'd be feeding the kids and doing all the laundry, and I was a house husband, whatever you want to call him. And Georgia's upstairs sleeping, and it came time for her first appointment, be that in person or on phone, and I'd go up there and rouse her, a couple times. "Georgia, wake up!" She had no earthly idea who she was going to talk to, and that all went back to the origin of me finding out that she does this.
Well, she didn't keep it from you when y'all were dating.
Yeah, no, I didn't know it. I didn't know it at all for a long while. Years.
Did you ever talk to her parents about it?
Oh yeah, well, a little bit. Yeah. And I tried to convince them.
They didn't.
I found myself in the situation that I was trying to convince them about what she can do. But anyway, she. When she first told me she could talk to dead people, I said, that's kind of weird.
Don't say the word that you said. Okay, and
that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, I started bringing people I knew friends, and now she's living in Texas at this point. She was raised in New York. She don't know anybody around here in Texas. She don't even know anything about Texas.
And you weren't telling her about these people before
I
they
didn't
came
even,
in?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
She did all of her clients with just a name. A name, and that's it. Hi. And usually she'd hear that name when they walked in because I was doing all the paperwork. I was doing all the scheduling, and a lot of it became computer-based, where people would just sign in online, and they would be able to do a time, and so I didn't know anything about them unless they were from some, I remember a Middle Eastern country that somebody showed up, and I said, "Huh," and so I Googled who they were, and apparently this guy was a Middle Eastern dignitary who had disappeared in a plane flight. Mm-hmm. And so now I know that.
But she didn't know that. This is what
Georgia had no idea. And she's talking to this lady's in it begins with an M. What the heck was the name of that country? Middle Eastern country. And they set up this phone deal because she did a lot of her readings over the phone.
Now that's amazing.
Now that makes
you
wonder, doesn't it? Yeah. That's where you get into the time and space thing.
Right.
Because the space between Singapore and Texas, or New York at that time, is nothing. And time means absolutely nothing to people. We're talking about dead people.
But, here's something. We all have some kind of sense about when somebody walks in the door. You either have a good feeling about them, a bad feeling, or you have no feeling at all when they walk in, and you feel like this person just sucked all the every energy out of this room, and you start feeling like, yay, what is the problem with you? Why do you have that attitude? We feel the attitude. We feel things like that from them. Correct? I mean, that's just kind of natural thing
Are you
that we
saying
do.
that's something that you do yourself,
No,
and
we-
you expect everybody else in the universe, Dick
Yes.
and me, to do also?
Yes.
To judge someone when they walk in the room?
You're
I
not
don't know.
supposed to.
Where are we going with this?
You're not supposed to judge people, but we have a sense about people, and if you're going to like them, or they were, like Dare was so sweet, so
she's a
and
jewel.
just she was across
She's a
the
jewel.
room in the lobby, and I walked out, and she goes like, she runs over, and so the things that people you judge that, or you get, this is a sweet kid, and then they prove it by what they say and stuff, that what you felt was right. And so I'm just saying, that's how we connect with each other. That's how we, you like somebody, or you fall in love with someone, is through that kind of feelings of reaction and what you're getting from them. Don't you feel that?
Well, yeah, that's called life in general.
That's
I don't
right.
know.
We all have-
how are you drawing
I'm
this
just-
into the whole talking to
dead
dead people crap?
I'm just saying, let's go back to the basics of what we as human beings, what we sense about each other. Now, some people are more
How we
sensitive.
relate to each other. Yeah.
Some people are more sensitive to someone else.
I've been
But
accused of being insensitive.
True.
I've been married 3 times.
True. Yes, you. I'm not going to say that wouldn't surprise me, but no. But if people are that way, and that's accepted, it's very accepted to do that. But I go into the Bible, and it talks about don't judge. I'm going to judge you the way you judge other people, what God said, and that's scary. That's like, okay, so I don't want to judge you by anything.
That's a pretty high benchmark.
Yeah, so that's very, very
Now
good.
you're going to go to heaven or hell, depending upon how you felt about Joe Schmo over here.
Well, you're supposed to love everybody and believe that everybody is created is your brother and sister, and that we have this kind of bond, but we don't look at a lot of times at it that way. But being sensitive to stuff like that.
I'm
if I
going to
said,
join her church, Dick. I'm telling you, she's.
don't say that to him.
I mean,
not
she's
trying
got
to
me.
persuade-
Amen. I'm just trying to.
I'm not trying to persuade you.
I was
to
trying
do
not to cuss a
anything.
minute ago. Now I'm trying to refrain from saying.
From judging people.
No, from saying, amen, sister.
Yes.
Amen.
Very good. Very good.
Preach on.
I love that. But I think that what you're telling us, and I believe that people have experiences and that they're their own experiences. But now this is what
Boy, if you
not
had
creeps me
commas
out.
between everything
Everything that I said.
train of thought, I would been running out of commas here.
But here's the deal. You told me a story about this, and I'm gonna say the story, and what I say wrong,
Hey, it's
you'll
your
correct me.
show.
But you told me about this couple who had their son was missing, and they were
Yeah.
very desperate about trying to find their son.
Yeah, I even
So
wrote
they'd
his
heard-
name down.
They'd heard about
Here.
Georgia. They called and they talked to you. And Georgia was on the road doing,
Oh
she
no,
was
no,
gonna
no!
go-
You're mixing up 2 stories.
I
You're
knew it.
mixing. You're mixing up Jeliak, a young kid who got from around the Stillwater, New York area, who got murdered, and a different guy, a guy named Larry. Larry, please bring the name up to my Pennington, who was missing in New Braunfels.
Right.
And now I don't know what you're referring to.
now
Which
this is
one
what
of those?
that was the one in New Braunfels.
New Braunfels, yeah. Oh, that
and-
was just amazing.
And you told her that this woman's, desperate, and Georgia didn't think she had time to do anything about it. But then she calls you and says, "Get a map out." And you got a map out, and she gave you coordinates.
Yeah,
And-
you're cutting it in. There's a lot of stuff happened in between there.
Okay,
but go
I'm just-
ahead.
and so you got the map out, and you did the coordinates, and you put an X where she said to put an X, and you call the
We were in
parents.
constant communication,
Right,
with
'cause they were so
with-
desperate.
Yes,
So you call them and say, I've got the coordinates, and it's near, and it looks like it's in New Braunfels, and you say, and they told you that they had relatives that were around there?
Yeah, just like 4 miles away. I just read the newspaper article again, and I can give you the link to the newspaper article from the lady in Magnolia who reported on this. But anyway, yes.
And so you called her back and said, I've got where he is. And so
I'm on the phone with this lady, and apparently we had this communication going, and she's pulling up to the other lady in New Braunfels was pulling up to a pickup truck where her brother had just killed himself in. And the police were already there because somebody a few minutes earlier had reported that there's a guy sitting in the truck, and apparently had been there a while, according to them,
right.
The locals. So the locals had already called the police department, but
so this was her brother.
The relatives were right. Yes.
Okay. I thought it was her son. They were trying to find their son. That it was an older
that's
son.
That's the other story.
That's in New York. That's the New York story.
Yes.
But I think that was just like, how did they react to the coordinates
screaming, and they were screaming. I could hear him screaming on the telephone because they wouldn't. The police. Now, if you read this article from the Magnolia Potpourri, it's
the Magnolia Potpourri.
Yeah, you could go
.com, or is it?
Did I Pennington. It took me a while to find it.
But it's there.
Daggone it, it is.
It's okay, Dennis, because everybody's better than we are about finding
because
stuff.
a lot of people want proof. They don't believe me over the many times.
No.
How many times can you imagine me telling this story to people, and then the people just
don't
believe it?
No, what I'm saying is that they're better at finding information. If we give them like the Magnolia Potpourri, they'll find that story. And Larry Pennington
was the dead guy's name.
Okay. And that's all. That's what they will need, and they'll find it.
Whatever.
Because
we'll get around.
That's your receipt about that story was true. In fact, just because it was covered doesn't make it true or false in that sense.
They contacted the local newspaper, I believe,
to tell
the people
them what
involved
happened.
in it.
Yeah,
and so they caught up on it, and it's like two people telling a story, and a third person it's going to be just a little different.
I'm sure.
So the one that's reported is just a little different. But the weird thing was that I had one of those old. Well, it's not old. It was brand new at the time. A computer monitor with a pencil X on it for a long time.
I bet, and that's where he was. And she did that when she's on the road somewhere. And
she caught it she started on the road, but then she ended up being back at her office and communicating with me by phone and going, New Braunfels. What's New Braunfels? And I went, well,
she never
it's
heard
a city.
of New
Well, no,
yeah.
she's from New York. She has no idea.
That's amazing.
And it was me. I was keep translating what she's seeing, and she says, well, and do you see, well, I'm seeing the river. She's describing the river. I'm looking at it on the darn computer screen as she's describing it. Move down here, move to the left, and I'm moving the mouse, Googling where she's talking about. And she got it down to, she even knew the names of the darn streets. The two streets that
the cross streets were.
Yeah, and it wasn't me feeding her because I didn't know where she was going. Who
so
knows
she was
me
saying the names of the streets to you.
The last two. She got the last two and then went down towards the river and she says put an X there.
That's amazing.
That's where he is.
He's found.
And it was like, I'm on the phone, and what can you imagine if you're hearing this? Can you imagine? You go,
And no, I can't.
And you don't say any 4-letter words,
No,
but you go, okay. And then you call the other lady and go,
I got
hey,
news for you.
here's where he is.
Did she know? Did she say anything about him being dead?
She did. Not that I can recall.
Okay, I didn't know.
Well, see, Georgia had a hard time distinguishing dead and alive. That's one of the little things here. You go to a grocery store, and you're walking down the frozen food aisle, and I'm seeing one person there, and she may be seeing more than one person there. And she doesn't know right off the bat which one of those two people is alive and which one is dead.
Oh, my word.
I know. Talk to me about it. And I would only say after a while, though, but she'd go up to people sometimes and talk to them.
Oh, dear. She'd go to him and say,
Every great now and then, because this person, whoever was walking along with her, was so intent upon, tell her this. She needs to know this. And the communication between George and she'd go, oh, man. And she did not want to do it.
No.
Who would? Walk up to some stranger and go, in the fast food aisle, and
right.
go, yeah, I just the cold. Geez. No, I don't. I could make some really silly comments there, but I'm trying to make it understandable that this is nothing fearful and awful and worrisome.
No,
and a lot of times the people goosebumps, and a lot what.
No, I was just going to say, I remember you telling me that you did not like, whenever I was talking about the tour, the haunted tour, that you hated people thinking that it was going to be scary, or that things like that are scary, that someone who worked in this office, years and years and years ago, and something happened to them, and so they're going to tell the story about it, that people are like, ooh, are they still here? Is the ghost of them still here? That all this stuff is not scary.
Did I say at the beginning of our conversation today that the other side, I made a big note to myself, don't forget this, Dennis. This is very, very important. The other side is about love. I can't, if you can put that on my tombstone. The other side is about love. That's it. It's not about guilt, devils, demons, and evilness. And the other side is about love, and that's all there is between us and dying is what I believe, and that's what I've learned from all of the dead people, and I heard a bunch of them.
But are you saying you don't believe there's any evil in the world?
No, I don't believe that there's some evil force that's working day and night, making notes. Okay, Dennis feels this way. This is a way we can take him to hell. No, I don't believe in any. You die and you got loved ones greeting you.
Where?
Whatever is between, and it's a thin veil. Whatever's between here and life never ends.
Well, my husband cannot stand standing in line, and he said the biggest incentive for me to try and be good is that I know the line's going to be shorter there, so that's how he sees it.
Funny.
And then so he, I
was just picturing the pearly gates, you know.
Mine was the movie that came out. I love when they do movies about heaven and hell.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, I do too.
Was Albert Brooks. And he's just talking about that you can eat anything you want to eat. They had this big diner in in heaven, and so they go and they eat anything they want to eat. But it was a holding place. It wasn't really heaven or hell. It was just a holding place
Purgatory.
until they decided where you should go. So,
That's
but the
called
deal is being
purgatory.
able.
Are you not a Catholic?
I'm not a Catholic, but I understand purgatory. I understand the.
Okay,
you
go
know,
ahead
that-
with your story.
That
I'm sorry, I
that's
interrupted.
what they say. But anyway, they had me at that. That and that the Bible says that we will have this glorious body, and so I'm really. I mean, I didn't need to hear anything else about. Okay, that's cool.
Now, she brought up the subject.
It was just
Dick, remember that she brought up the subject.
there's no form to it. I'm sure it's just you're bright and white.
You got
But,
this glorious body. Okay, what are you
yes.
doing with that, Cindy?
Wearing with you have the angel, the wings. And,
Oh, you got the wings.
and everything. But the deal is that you can eat anything you want to. It's like,
That was it, huh?
that's what.
That
I'm
was
so
the
shallow.
selling point?
Yeah. No, we were talking about my sister and I were talking about what
It
what are we
wasn't
going
the
to do?
abs on Jesus. Man, have you seen some of those crucifixes? And Jesus has got some outrageous abs.
That's what you got from it. Good. Okay. So the other thing is that
Well, you said
what are we
glorious
going to do in heaven? I remember as a child thinking, okay, is heaven going to be we're all going to be singing all the time? Or they're going to be talking about all the scriptures all the time? Are we going to be able to play? Are we going to be able to like go swimming?
Oh, man,
and all?
I have so many remembrances and stories
When I was
about what the dead people said about what
What
they
went
were
on?
doing. Go ahead. I'm sorry I
Oh, no,
interrupted
no.
you, but you just
No, what you-
flashed.
No, I was just saying. So you have all those, and we were talking about what we believe is probably going to happen is that we're going to be put to work. We're going to be doing things that the guardian angels do, and that they talk about the guardian angels. That we're going to be put to work in helping and doing things, and not just sit around in a mansion somewhere.
Whatever is heaven for you.
That's I've already got two
Heaven
other
for
things
you
done.
is whatever heaven is for you, and that is one of this guy was just enamored by trains, and he's talking to I guess she was his wife, and he was telling her about that he lived in a caboose. That's where he was living.
That's
He
his
was
mansion,
dead,
yeah.
and he was living in a caboose, and he in deep detail, and how much joy he had about this. That's where he was hanging out.
I think that's probably what people want to know most of all is what are my loved ones doing? What are they okay? Are they hurting? Are they
The other side is about love.
Right.
And only about love. So, when you start wondering about how much you would love to love your grandpa being where he would love to be,
Right.
be it fishing in a stream, and you can picture that, I'm pretty sure he's probably there.
I think that's where I put people. When my brother was killed, I was so grieving about that, and I was getting ready. Let's see, I was laying on the couch, and all of a sudden,
How was he killed?
An 18-wheeler. His car was parked. I mean, his car was coming down really fast, and this 18-wheeler parked. It was out on the road because it had stopped, and he didn't have time to see it.
Boom.
Went off.
Yeah.
But
I
remember
never knew it was coming.
No, he did not know it was coming.
That's one of my points. Is a lot of those people that experience, and I listened to them because I recorded all of George's stuff. A lot of the people that died in those horrific accidents, it was like didn't even happen.
Yeah, because they didn't.
Because they would, and over and over and over again, I'd hear these people give details about these horrible accidents like that. And the thing that was just so much comforting that I heard was the cat said, "Man, I didn't see it coming, and now I'm in joy and in a place of love." So phew, what's the deal? That was just the horrifying accident we place so much attention on.
Mm-hmm.
But for them, it was between now and it's gone.
Right.
It never happened. And because most people, oh God, did they suffer? Oh my God, was it horrible? Oh my gosh, was that, and over and over and over, I heard these cats say, "Hey man, it was just falling off a log."
I think that it was an interesting time because I was trying to figure out where I was going to put him and what he was going to be doing and all. But I was laying on the couch. It was about 3:00 in the morning, and I heard someone walking down the hall, and I knew that Sam wasn't even here. And he came around, and my brother's standing there and says, "Listen, I'm fine. I'm doing fine." And I went,
"No kidding."
And then he was
a
gone.
Full image.
Yes, standing there in full image, and so I went back down to
Cindy,
see
you
he walked
saw a
down the
ghost.
hall.
Now we're getting down to it.
And
you saw a full
right.
him standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And how long had he been gone?
Just maybe days. It wasn't very long, but anyway,
Wow.
he said, "I'm fine,"
Wow.
and I think that's what I was praying for. I want to know if
assurance.
he's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
And so and it made me feel so much better. I had such a peace about this. Thank
That's
you.
really
Thank you very
cool.
much. That's great. Now listen, we only have 4 minutes left. We have talked. This has gone by so fast. I love this. But
we're just
that was
talking.
my experience, and probably no one else would have seen him. I saw him, and that was my experience. And and someone's not going to question the experience I had. It may not be what they believe they would have, but it's something that I experienced, and it helped me, and all that. And
Yeah,
so
well,
it was
that's
fun.
what all the years with George's business
Right.
was all about, was helping people.
I'm sure.
Because we were just we're dealing with dead people,
Right.
And it's a relationship between this living person and this dead person, and there's all this relationship stuff going on between that person walking in and that person that George's might have been dealing with for a half an hour before.
Right. Well, I think
because
that-
this person the dead person shows up first and goes, "Okay, I'm ready to go. What's going on?"
Well, I think that what you're bringing is probably a lot of people are very desperate to want to make sure everything's okay. I love that you're saying take the fear out of it, take the fear out of it,
Absolutely.
and that's your
other side
good
is
message.
about love.
The other thing, though, Dennis, is write all this down. You'll have a great book and a great movie. Okay? Yes, you will. Oh my goodness, have you not seen Sixth Sense? Okay, so. Anyway, but we've got like 2 minutes left to go. Thank you so much for coming.
Wait a minute. Do I have any spooky stuff?
No, we don't have time.
Spooky
He's
stuff.
going to cut me off in
Ghost
2
hunt,
minutes.
I know, yes, but
so,
then
anyway, tomorrow I have...
Bobby Mackey's in Wilder, Kentucky.
Tomorrow we have the GM of HEB coming in, and he's going to be, we're having a grand opening in Willis. This huge HEB, beautiful... Everyone is so excited, and that's where everybody is going to be on November 2nd is in HEB.
It's going to be exciting.
Be here tomorrow.
Hopefully they didn't build it on an Indian graveyard.
Yeah. That's what you're going to leave them with, Dennis? Thanks a lot. Okay, so, and that laugh, I love that laugh. Okay, I need to record that and play that as the trick-or-treaters are coming up. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching. And listen, first responders, we love you, and we love you so much, and even better than that, God loves you more. Okay, so have a great day. It's so beautiful outside.
Oh, it's
Go
gorgeous.
out. Oh,
Gorgeous.
Just stand there and just go, oh,
Unbelievable.
this is beautiful, and call someone you love. All right, how you call them?
All you got to do is say,
Okay.
hi.
Bye. Thank you for watching.